This video was sponsored by Enhance, Elbilmek, a bit planner, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? Earlier I showed you guys this vehicle to load adapter from EVniculus. This is a European importer. It's original from China, but I showed you that you can use this in a Tesla Model Y. But then people are complaining, well, but then there goes the warranty. Well, you know, it's supposedly this device works on standard CCS protocol, and great news. EVniculus guys, they tested it on a classic Model S with the CCS adapter. It works just fine. So I wonder, what about this e-Golf? Is 11 years old. Are you going to avoid the warranty? What warranty? So the e-Golf, you guys know the history. It was one of the first cars, the first EV with a CCS protocol. The first was actually the e-Up. Yeah, that was the first ever CCS. So here, I mean, not everything here works as new cars today. For example, for some reason, the classic e-Golf, the 24 kilowatt hour, does not work with Tesla supercharger. So you're gonna test, will it work with this adapter then? Well, unlike the Tesla that needs to be in camp mode and then you turn off the battery heater. Well, here there is no camp mode. It was just to keep the car on. In the e-Golf or many legacy automakers, you actually want to turn off the car before you handshake, otherwise it's going to fail. And then as for battery heater, what battery heater? This car has no thermal management. But okay, we just plug it in. Well, how was the procedure then? No, you have to fire up the thing first. There, wait for it to blink. Booting up China OS. Sending data to China, wait for it to become green, and then it's ready for action. Or yellow it was. Okay, the other green. All right, it's ready. Plug it in here. Because normally I don't want to try this on press cars, but it's my own car, and then if I blow shit up, I can always go to Elbilmek and they can fix it. But what's gonna happen now? It blinks blue. Is it trying to handshake? Well, it should be relatively quick to handshake if this works. It just blinks blue. There's nothing in the display here yet. Maybe it doesn't work here because it's a really early CCS protocol. Okay, but I'm not sure if it works, but you know, great news. I'm gonna head over to Elbilmek now and test on a bunch of other cars. They have classic Ioniq, they have BMW i3, and also some classic Model S. You can verify also that this works, but it seems like it doesn't work here. It seems like there's no communication or the correct communication. And the charge port looks like this. It should blink, or I can check inside the car what it looks like. Well, I mean, it just shows that we are connected, but it doesn't blink. So it seems like handshake doesn't work here. Yeah, e-Golf now has 140,000 kilometers on the odometer. It's actually not that much after 11 years. Well, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do again. Are we supposed to put some load on it? We could try. But there's nothing in the display here. Do we have juice? Nope. No juice. Okay, so then I can conclude that it doesn't work on classic e-Golf then. Let me check here. Is the car drivable? No error, nothing. It goes forward, right? Yes, it goes forward. Okay. So nothing harm at least. Just didn't work. Backup camera is working. Okay, let's go. We're now at Elbilmek. Unfortunately, Valdemar is not here. He is on vacation. I mean, it's by the end of June, so more and more people, they go on vacation now. So there are plenty of cars we can test here. The first candidate is this BMW i3. I think maybe I tested before. This is 33 kilowatt hour, but okay, not too relevant, but it works on supercharger, so it's like the newer CCS protocol. It's charging right now. So let's unplug it and see how this works. Oh, I forgot to mention the vehicle to load adapter works between 20 and 95% state of charge. At least on a Tesla, it shouldn't matter which car you plug into, right? But it will read the state of charge. And then the e-Golf was at around 55-60% state of charge. So it was within that span. The i3 seems to be at around 85–90%, so it should have plenty of juice. Okay, unplug it and then fire up the vehicle to load adapter again. It's red. Wait for it to turn orange. What is it? Something. There, okay. And then we plug it in. And let's see what happens now. Charge port blinks yellow. Oh, it's green. Oh, it seems like it's working. Okay, let's see. Now I put on load on it. And let's fire up the heater. Oh yeah, we get heat here. Yeah, I can confirm it is working perfectly fine. 228 volts. It's pulling 5.7 amps. And the heater is just 1.5 kilowatts. Actually, it's pulling only 1.3 kilowatt for some reason. Oh yeah, maybe because the voltage is slightly lower, but nah. Okay. I wonder what that PF is. It's 0.99. It's usually slightly below 1. Maybe something about efficiency. 50 hertz. Yeah, well, we can confirm it is working. Let's see inside the car what it looks like. Okay, seems like the car's estimation is slightly, it was 11:38, now it says 11:39. You see that? It is slightly past 11, so it thinks that we are charging, but we are discharging. So it doesn't know that we have negative charging going on now. Yeah, and then the display disappears, okay, but yeah, so it is working just fine, no problemo. Let's switch off the heater, disconnect the Schuko, power off the adapter. Don't remember how it's supposed to be now. And then we can just, where is it? Yeah, it's already on. Yeah, that's it. No problem. Now let's check if the car is drivable still. Yeah, maybe I should close this, even though it's not necessary. No, the butt plugs, 2 butt plugs here. Yeah, why not? Okay, start. No errors. Goes into drive, goes forward, no problem. Goes back, no problem. Oh, there's a backup camera here even. Wow, a nice Beamer. There's SOT, park. Everything is fine. Now we just voided the battery here, a battery warranty. What warranty? Next up is a Tesla Model S. It's fully functional, except for that there's some problem with the air suspension. And Elbilmek, they purchased this car. So I don't want to test cars that do not belong to us, because many people are afraid about the warranty. But okay, test our own cars, and if we break it, then Valdemar will fix it. So will the air suspension go up now if we... not sure. Yeah, when I push the brake, seems like it goes slightly up. Okay, it's a 70D. It is already in service mode. We can check on the stats here. No, where is this? 150,000 kilometers on it. 70D was roughly from 2015-ish, 16. Yeah, so it's getting old. It's about 8 years old. Don't know if we need to be in camp mode. We can just let me see. Here, okay. Yeah, we'll just be in camp mode just in case. But when it comes to battery heated, I'm not sure. We could maybe also go in. I think it was over here. I'm not sure where the battery heater is in the Model S. And then in these old Teslas, to open the charge port, you simply cannot touch here for opening it. But they made it so that you can press on the rear. Instead of opening the trunk, you press and hold for 3 seconds. And that should open the charge port. And this was actually my idea many years ago, to implement this feature. And then back then, Tesla actually added nice, cool features. Nowadays, you can just get the sexy button or the commander. Seems like Enhanced guys from Bulgaria who made this third-party thing that connects to OBD there. They add features faster than Tesla care to add features. Nowadays, they're just chasing for Mars, right? Okay, anyway, now let's try again. Press and hold, booting up China OS. This should work. I'm just going to verify that it works also on a 75D from that age roughly. Okay, wait for it. Wait, I need the adapter, I forgot. Where is the CCS adapter located? It has it, right? I forgot to ask them if they have one. If it doesn't have CCS adapter, then obviously it doesn't work. Well, I'm trying to find out. I asked the guy at Elbilmek and he didn't know. So we're looking for the CCS adapter. This is the front that is open. I could not find anything. Well, so it's a car they purchased. Maybe under here. Well, there's a bunch of stuff here. Oh, there's a hammer in case you need to repair something. Golf balls, wet tissues. But doesn't seem like CCS adapter. Maybe I have to check in the car screen. Maybe the screen will show you whether you have it or not. Oh, I found it. Okay, it is here. Now let's see. If I go to here, additional vehicle information. Normally it will also say here, air suspension standard, CCS. Oh, wait. Oh, I touched something. Oh man. Okay, don't point, but don't touch anything. It says here, CCS adaptive support enable. Okay, we verify that has been upgraded, because one does not simply just plug this into any old Teslas. You must also make the upgrade, which is they actually add an additional part of hardware in the back of the car so that it can communicate with the CCS, and then this will also work obviously. But if you just happen to come across the old CHAdeMO adapter that Tesla had back then, that will work out of the box. You don't need any upgrade. However, the CHAdeMO adapter should be fairly cheap to buy nowadays, secondhand. The problem is that there are less and less CHAdeMO plugs out there. Ioniq, only CCS. Circle K, only CCS. Fortum Charge and Drive that we have, Recharge over here, mostly CCS and a few CHAdeMO plugs only. And the other problem with CHAdeMO plug is that it's limited to 50 kilowatt. In Europe, they don't bother with the 200 amp CHAdeMO plugs, except for a few locations like Eon chargers. They have 200 amp, but 200 amp is only 72 kilowatt roughly, based on the voltage and so on. So this is what you want to go for, because here, depending on the car, you can get around 130 kilowatt, and maybe even higher. I haven't tested it. Okay, try again. You don't want to keep the charge port open too long, because eventually it times out. But now we just open charge port again. All right. I don't remember the procedure for the CCS plug since adapter, since I haven't used it for a while. Wait for it to boot up, but whether you plug it in first or whatever, I think you're supposed to just plug in like this and then get ready, and then wait for the color here to turn the green. Plug it in, and then this should change. It's blue now, it's handshaking, and then it's green. I connected the heater. I feel the heat here. You can check the stats on the display. Oh, is it readable? There. You see we're getting, 222 volts. Huh? That's weird. Is the voltage variable? Wait, hard to read here. Not two, yeah. Okay, at least it is working. In the car display, it just shows 0 kilometers per hour, 0 amp, 326 volt. That might be the battery voltage, because the 70D has a lower voltage than the bigger 85 packs. Is the service mode here different than the Model 3, Model Y? Because if I look here, service mode, we have limited options here. And then if you go to charging, but this is not the way you get all the battery status in the service mode in Model 3Y. So, well, there's OBD port here, but I didn't bring the adapter. We could plug it into ScanMyTesla to see some stats, but at least you know that it's pulling power. It just doesn't show anything here. And then just, okay, whatever. I think we're done with the test now. And then, needless to test that we can drive. It works just fine. We can test another BMW i3. This is the 120 amp hour or the 42 kilowatt hour. It actually belongs to Markus Biel. The guys at the Elbilmek, they did some service on it, so it's good to go. But then I'm gonna try to fry his battery. Okay, open up my... Unlock the car, open the charge port. Oh yeah, no, don't plug it in, I forgot. Always start the adapter first. We have to notify China what we're gonna do. And then they reply, it's okay. And then we can plug it in, right? No, it's red there, okay. Green means go, plug it in. And then we wait for this handshake. Should be relatively fast in the i3. There, click, click. Yes, it's blue, it's charging, or it's active. Then we add some load. Fire up the heater. Yeah, I can feel heat. Yeah, 228 volts. Yeah, the same numbers we've seen before, 1.3 kilowatts pulling. Yeah, all good. And then inside the car looks like this. Looks like we're charging, but we're actually discharging. These cars, they don't have an interface for it because, yeah, we're just using a standard CCS protocol and they think we are charging. So every time Elbilmek replaces brake disc on various cars, what did they do with the old brake disc? Well, they make signs. Reserve parking for Elbilmek. And the brake discs are perfect. A bit loose, but that's fine. You could just use them as a stand here. It's quite sturdy. Oh, this doesn't blow away anyway, yeah. Look at this, huh? Reuse. Perfect. Is that a Tesla brake disc? It's definitely not the Zoe disc. Oh, this is heavy. Oh, yeah, more disc over here. Oh, this seems to be a smaller disc. Yeah, this is a great idea. Reusable parts. No need to recycle them yet, right? Okay, unfortunately, the two Ioniqs they have here, they're not available. Well, one will come back, but in several hours, and then I should be back home already. So, yeah, no Ioniq so far, but we should maybe come back here later this week or maybe next week and try. Well, eventually they're gonna close here for the summer for 2 weeks, but we're gonna try. If you guys are interested, I can try more cars, or maybe I could even well, it seems like there is an ultra low risk of anything going wrong here, right? So if you have an old car and you don't care about the warranty, or you don't have warranty anymore, then maybe you can come over and then we can test it at my home instead. Right? We could post it on Facebook and see if people are interested. We could verify and see how many cars it works on. And then on the EVniculus web page, it is branded or is sold as if it is Tesla only, but it seems like it works on any car that has at least more standard CCS protocol. It just, you know, opens up a charging session and then it pulls back or out. But it will also from time to time charge slightly to keep the charging session alive, right? And also because the normal vehicle to load adapters, you use the onboard charger in the car to transform the DC into AC. Or actually inverter, it becomes an inverter, right? And then you get AC straight out of the car. Here it's different because you actually pull DC from the car and then this box is doing the DC AC conversion. So it means that even if you use this in old cars, like a car that has only 3.3 kilowatt onboard charger, you should be able to pull 5 kilowatt because this device is the one pulling the power and then transforming, or inverting it for you. So yeah, this could be interesting if you have old car and it has low value, you know, and then you basically have a portable battery. Yeah, well then this could cost almost more than the car. Okay, it cost 12,000 NOK or around 1,000 euros. So it's quite expensive, but if you use my discount link, you will get 5% discount. At least that helps. So anyway, I think that's gonna be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.